In the early 1900s, Virginia, Minnesota was a booming powerhouse of industry. Thanks to the likes of the Merritt family, Louis Rocheleau, John Weimer, and Frank Hibbing discovering vast tracts of iron ore beneath the Queen City. Soon the population was exploding and money was being pulled from the ground hand over fist. People needed to let loose. In Virginia's great history, there has been 11 theaters, and perhaps the greatest of them all was the Lyric Opera House. And some people think it's haunted.
The Lyric Opera House here in downtown Virginia, Minnesota, as all of you know, has long been steeped in history.
The Lyric Opera House was built in 1911 and opened in January of 1912 as a live theater. It did several vaudeville years with touring groups. So there were lots of different vaudeville actors that we have heard have been here on the stage, including Fibber McGee and Molly and Boris Karloff.
Performances by W.C. Fields to Charlie Chaplin.
Lots of different acts. There was a woman with a bird act here one time that had 100 trained birds. She was on this tour. So, in the mid-30s, it went just to cinema and was part of Paramount Studios' chain of state theaters, and was open until the mid-1950s. And then the theater closed at that time, and several of the retail establishments were still open, and the VFW was still in the ballroom upstairs. And then by the 1980s, it was pretty much just vacant.
I actually never realized what was here. It's beautiful.
What a lot of us didn't know until recently is how haunted the Lyric Opera House was.
Well, I've never felt uncomfortable here in the evenings. I've felt that there are spirits of people who have been here in the past. Once in a while, a door will close that you had left open, or one will open that you left shut. But I've never felt that there has been any anxious type feelings.
It did have a good energy. I think it did walking in.
When I walked in the projector room and I was physically pushed in the back to the point where I missed the 2 stairs and fell.
One time when I was sitting up in the balcony, I was angry at my spouse for doing something I had asked him not to do, and it meant that my at that time it had been worth some money, Gibson guitar had gotten broken.
That was not me missing the steps. That was somebody not wanting me in that projector room. Somebody that was almost acting as though they were security.
And I was really angry, so I was sitting in the balcony and fuming and probably crying a little bit. And all of a sudden I felt this hand come around and hug me and pat me on the shoulder, pretty much just telling me, it's going to be okay, don't worry about it. So that's the only time I've ever really physically felt the contact. He has felt some real negative presences up by the bar.
But there are tales of one of the ushers that ended up dying in this building. He fell from that balcony and died.
For the first several years that we were here, and then all of a sudden it was gone, so we're not quite sure what happened with that. And also, we had a number of young people performing on the stage early on when we obtained the building, and you could feel like, especially in the balcony, you could feel like there were people there just on the edge of their seat listening to the music. And
we took a walk through here. 3 of us were here all alone in the dark.
I did feel like we were being watched. I didn't feel threatened or anything, but I did feel like someone didn't really want their space invaded. And then once we went up into the one room, the caretaker's room, you kind of felt like he put a little pushback.
We found out really quickly that things truly do go bump in the night here.
He would adjust the temperature in there quite a lot. To go from 60-some degrees to 37 degrees. And you do kind of get a feeling of this is my space, and you know, don't go in certain rooms. You know, a little bit of an invasion, but we walked around, and the main hall right here where we are on the stage.
It's incredible.
It is, even unrestored, I think is beautiful, in the balcony, and even going underneath, just to see what the actors used to do underneath the stage was more of a just excitement. I didn't really walk around on top of the stage that much, but like I said, I just took a bow for fun.
Well, we really kind of began our investigation like most any investigation. Skeptics hat first, of course. But when we left the main staging area to walk through the grand entrance, and of course into where you see us now, into the staging area, things took a hard left turn for me anyway.
And I set up my camera there, the one main camera that was going to be filming this room here all night with night vision on it.
We would hear footsteps, we would hear sounds, we'd hear motions.
When I get back to look at the evidence, there's nothing on the video. It's nothing visible whatsoever in there, which is strange. Same thing happened under the stage here, where the green rooms are. Down there, any piece of video I took did not come out. I tried to videotape with my camera down there. I still had an hour of time on my battery, and it just shut off.
I felt personally the feeling being unwanted. I've also seen malfunctions of equipment in there, along with battery drainage.
I mean, a drop in temperature would go up and down within 10 degrees.
Right, and
there's no drafts.
No,
There was nothing.
My experiences as I walked in this building personally was I was shocked at the amount of cold spots that were present that you would walk through that really had no explanation.
And the fact that it was getting cold in there, you couldn't even feel the cold out.
No.
It was very unusual.
It
felt the same temperature, but all our readings were showing
right.
10 degree rise, 10 degree drop.
And I just said, oh, if you're so smart, if you got all this energy, why don't you drop this temperature? And it went from the high 50s and started slowly going down. Eventually, in different parts of the rooms, we would have low 40s. And I said, well, you know, if you can give me 42, why can't you give me 37? I turned around and just for like I feel like a weirdo, but I went around like this and shot just to see what the temperature would do. And on my screen, it said 37.
There's definitely activity in this building, but a lot of folks, a lot of the people that we are investigating with, all three of us would agree that the caretaker's apartment has a special feel.
So in the late 90s, I used to come in here and help. We were going to try to reopen the place, and me and some friends used to come in here and clean and help and organize and whatever. And I guess my mom wanted to see the inside of the building. She didn't believe that we got to go in here, and she's never seen it. So I decided to take pictures of all the areas of the building, and I took a picture of the stage and the bar and some of the ballroom upstairs. And when I got the pictures back the next week, I saw in the pictures there was just to the left of the stage.
He reminded me of like the grumpy old man that you don't go near his house. I get a feeling of don't come in there. Watching us, wanting to know exactly what we were doing. And he was the same old man that I felt up in that, I think he was a caretaker.
There was a very tall man in a suit, and he had just like a really angry face.
Very distinctly, I could see the white shirt with the black suspenders, black pants. The hair was older. He had gray hair and he had it pulled in the front, parted very nicely in the back, and kind of a scowl look on his face. Very judgmental. He was watching us.
The tall guy with the kind of mean look on his face, he never left me alone while I was in the building. He never touched me, although there were points where I felt it really hard to breathe in areas of the building, and it was almost like he was choking me, and then it would just release, and my distance of, or my reality of time, I guess, was probably off. It seemed like 10-15 minutes I was being choked, and it was probably like seconds.
He was not very happy with us because he knew what we were going to be doing. He knew we were going to invade his space, and that was not something that he was looking forward to.
But I would always see him like walk away after I'd have those episodes in here, and so I stopped helping. Basically, I just wouldn't go back in the building again because he just wouldn't leave me alone. And that's pretty much it. Like, I don't feel anything right now, but that's why I never came back to this place, because he just wouldn't leave me alone.
We've been here, we checked it out.
We walked around, we've seen things, we've investigated.
All in all, the Lyric Opera House is a time you won't forget.
Is this place haunted?
Things happened, things didn't happen.
I really, really hope that you can brave it, that you can come with me, because Nightball changes this place, and it may even change you.